Peking is the administrative, educational and industrial capital of China. But there is no city center. There is no hustle and bustle of business or trading. Here live something like 8 million people. Outside working hours, the streets are filled with cyclists. It is said that there are some 3.5 million bicycles in Peking alone. If not on bicycles, it's on foot. And there are always people in the smaller streets and parks, workers either coming on or going off duty. Tuesday, 28th May 1974. A mass Boeing taxis to a stop on the tarmac of Peking's main airport. The Vice Premier of China, Mr. Li Xiannian, and other high-ranking officials moved forward to welcome Tun Abdul Razak. On this warm, sunny afternoon, history was made. Stepping down from the plane, Tun Abdul Razak was cordially welcomed by the Vice Premier, Mr. Li Xiannian. There were also the Foreign Minister, Mr. Chi Peng-fei, the Chairman of the Peking Municipal Revolutionary Committee, Mr. Wu Te, and other officials. After both the national anthems of Malaysia and China were played, Tun Abdul Razak moved down the ranks of the Guard of Honor, mounted by contingents of Chinese Army, Air Force and the Navy, to the warm greeting of 5,000 people. The welcoming groups ranged from children to adults. They came from schools, communes, factories and all walks of life. Here was a cross-section of the people of China cheering in their lusty voices, "Welcome, welcome, welcome to our distinguished guest from Malaysia, Tun Abdul Razak." It took nearly 40 minutes from landing to departure from the airport. The main streets of Peking, the Tongchang and Xichang boulevards, were gaily decorated with streamers, buntings and banners reaffirming Malaysia-China friendship and the cordiality of the welcome rendered to Tun Abdul Razak. The great hall of the people. Tun Razak and party arrived to attend the state banquet in honor of the visit given by the Premier of China, Mr. Chou En Lai. The first meeting of the two Prime Ministers is a warm and cordial one. Mr. Chou, who had become something of a recluse and had refrained from public appearances because of his health, made a special effort to be present personally. Tun Razak was also greeted by Madam Chiang Ching, wife of Chairman Mao, who stayed briefly to exchange a few words. Mr. Chou En Lai welcomed the Prime Minister and guests to China and spoke in praise of the people of Malaysia for their tradition in opposing imperialism and colonialism. He affirmed that the Malaysian concept of establishing a zone of peace, neutrality and freedom in Southeast Asia had won the support of many third world countries. He stressed that the social system of a country can only be chosen and decided by its own people and cannot be imposed by other countries. Countries with different social systems, he said, can develop state relations on the basis of mutual respect for sovereignty and territorial integrity, mutual non-aggression, non-interference in each other's internal affairs, equality and mutual benefit, and peaceful coexistence. He wished complete success to the Prime Minister's visit and ended his speech by toasting the prosperity of Malaysia and the people, the friendship between China and Malaysia, the health of His Majesty Yang di-Pertuan Agong, the health of Tun Razak and the other guests. In traditional fashion, Mr. Chou clinked glasses with every one of his principal guests.
Kunjungan saya ke Peking ini tidak syak lagi menjalin dan membaharui tali perhubungan.
Tun Razak in his speech said that in reforging historic links between the peoples of Malaysia and China, the barriers of mind and spirit, of misunderstanding and misapprehension must be crossed.
Antara Malaysia dan Republik Rakyat China oleh kerana peristiwa-peristiwa politik yang lalu. Kedua-dua negara kita mempunyai hasrat dan cita-cita.
He spoke of the common objectives of the two countries which seek peace in the world, freedom and justice, which strive for a life of security, decency and dignity for the people. At the same time, he said, "I'm not losing sight of the differences between us."
Cita-cita yang sama ini akan menjadi lebih nyata lagi dengan adanya hubungan antara kedua negara ini. Bagaimanapun tentulah ada perbezaan antara kita. Namun begitu, saya berpendapat
Nevertheless, I am totally convinced that differences in ideology, in our relative size, and in our approaches to some international issues should not present obstacles to the development of fruitful relations and beneficial cooperation between our two countries on the basis of mutual respect, equality, and peaceful coexistence.
Dan hidup bersama dalam keamanan.
He closed his speech by calling a toast to the health of Chairman Mao Zedong, the Premier Chou En Lai, to the prosperity and well-being of China and the Chinese people, and the friendship between the peoples of China and Malaysia. The first visit that the Prime Minister made was to the Tsinghua University, one of the two universities in Peking. This university specializes in science and engineering with a student population of some 4,000. The Tsinghua also lays claim to fame as the place where the Cultural Revolution first began. In one of the departments that the Tun visited, he was presented with a red metal plate inscribed in Chinese with the words, "Long live Malaysia, China friendship." One of the highlights of research carried out by the university is hydrology. Water has been a blessing and a bane for China throughout the centuries. Today, there are extensive schemes for water conservation and for harnessing its power for agricultural and industrial uses. Banners proclaimed "Welcome" when the Tun visited a handicraft center nearby. A patron of the arts and crafts himself, The Tun was intrigued to see the use of modern tools in the creation of traditional art objects by the young Chinese craftsmen and women. The Prime Minister was entertained to folk dances and songs by the students of the university. In the land of the table tennis champions of the world, the Tun dared and did play a hand of ping pong with one of the students. Within 24 hours of his arrival in Peking, Tun Abdul Razak paid a visit and had talks with Chairman Mao Zedong of China. The Tun was received very cordially by the 81-year-old chairman. Among those present were Mr. Chou En Lai, the Vice Premier Li Xiannian, and Mr. Wang Hunwen, who is one of the 5 Vice Chairmen of the Chinese Communist Party. Tun Razak presented the chairman with a Malaysian-crafted silver tea set just before serious discussions began. They talked for 90 minutes, discussing various international issues, particularly developments in the region. The chairman stated categorically that China's policy on overseas Chinese has always been that they must owe loyalty to the country of their adoption. Once they had adopted the citizenship of that country, they automatically lost the citizenship of China. Chairman Mao also stressed that disloyal elements like the terrorists were an internal matter for Malaysia to take whatever action that seems fit. Following soon after the meeting with Chairman Mao, the Prime Minister had talks with Premier Chou En Lai. Mr. Chou was accompanied by Vice Premier Li, Foreign Minister Chi Peng-fei, Vice Foreign Minister Han Nian-lung, the Chinese Ambassador to the UN, Mr. Huang Hua, the Assistant Foreign Minister, and officials from the Asian Affairs Division of the Foreign Ministry. The discussions further clarified China's stand on many issues. Mr. Chou acknowledged the support Malaysia had given China in seating her at the United Nations. He stressed that Malaysia had nothing to worry about people of Chinese origin who are Malaysian citizens, as China had nothing to do with them. He reaffirmed China's support for Malaysia's neutrality proposal. He assured Tun of support in the Straits of Malacca issue at the Law of the Seas conference in Caracas. The final details of the joint communiqué were left to the officials to sort out. That night, a tired but triumphant Prime Minister walked into a tumultuous greeting at a concert given by the Central Philharmonic Society in Peking. In just 24 hours, he had met all the important leaders of China and concluded satisfactory discussions over a wide range of subjects. He had put the seal to a long series of discussions that had taken place between officials of the Foreign Ministry of both countries. In his private discussions, his sincerity and integrity had impressed the Chinese leaders. In his public speeches, he had maintained the highest standards of diplomatic etiquette. He had opened a new chapter in Malaysia's international relations.